Uh-uh. Men's are live. Welcome back to the live Pure Finesse week number 12 in the NFL. It's game picks again. And your boy to your right, Mr. J Merch, has finally taken the lead, his rightful spot at the top of Pure Finesse's game pick board. A 2-game lead over Mr. Money Malcolm, who's looking quite dapper this Sunday morning.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Got to do a little project later on, so I may as well just get dressed up for
And
the
that
podcast.
project is losing again in week 12 to your boy to the right. Yes?
Nope, I
No.
don't think so. I don't think so. I'm very confident. I'm very confident.
How was the tickets last week?
Not good.
No.
Not good. There's one where I only needed one more game to win, and I would have made my money back. And it was the Minnesota Dallas game, and Minnesota lost, so that was awful. A few games like the Cincy game messed me up. Some spreads, but I was kind of close. I think in the game picks, I only got a few wrong, like two or three wrong. What about you?
Yeah. The Cincinnati Joe Burrow injury I'm sure screwed a lot of people over.
Yeah,
And yes, it was the Minnesota Dallas game that I'm sure again threw a lot of people off their rails as well because
what a joke.
Dallas is not the
What a
most
joke.
intimidating team in all of the NFL, and you saw that Thursday afternoon on American Thanksgiving that they are not the toughest team in the NFL to watch or
Yep.
play against after seeing the Washington football team beat them. But we invite you to live the dream just like me and Malcolm are right now into week 12 game picks, starting off with the Las Vegas Raiders against the Atlanta Falcons. Las Vegas is coming off that loss to Kansas City on Sunday Night Football. They are favored by 3 to get back to their winning ways.
I don't think Las Vegas wins. I think Atlanta's going to win this one. I knew that was going to shock you. I think Atlanta, and I think Matt Ryan and Julio and Calvin Ridley, if Julio's healthy, they got to get something going because they've just been losing, and it's not fun to watch because they're so good on offense. I think that they're just going to come back and win because I think Las Vegas, they're a good team, but they're nothing that I think Atlanta can't control.
Starting off spicy this
Yep.
morning. I will go with the Las Vegas Raiders after taking the Super Bowl champions to the limit, I would say,
Yep.
again,
Hmm.
because, they did beat them to start off their first meeting out of 2. So they kept it pretty close against a monster Kansas City Chiefs team. But yes, Las Vegas I think, is the real deal. They're
Yeah.
going to be a playoff team, and Josh Jacobs is playing out of his mind. I would say this last month, he's played unbelievable football. And Nelson Aguilar has been playing some serious football these last couple of weeks too. I'm sure he's available in a lot of fantasy leagues. And you see that Atlanta does not have the most, I would say, stout secondary in the world.
Yeah.
So I would be streaming Nelson Aguilar for fantasy lineups this week. Next, we got the LA Chargers against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo coming off the bye. They are favored by 4.5. LA finally gets it done for me, Malcolm. Finally.
Against the Jets.
I think it took, I don't know, 1 month and a half for me to finally pick the Chargers to win.
Yeah, I think when you have a team that hasn't won a game, it's pretty easy to pick the Chargers. So
I will be going with the Buffalo Bills on this one. Justin Herbert, I love you, bud. Your haircut looks like you're just out of military school,
yeah,
but
yikes.
Buffalo's very, very good, and there's no way they're going to be containing the Buffalo offense today. But I would think honestly to stream the Buffalo defense today, just because Justin Herbert, he's going to be is a good quarterback, but I think he's going to run into a lot of trouble today with the secondary in Buffalo.
Especially Tre'Davious White. Love him. Very underrated cornerback. So yeah, I agree with you. I think Buffalo's going to win this one.
We got next the possible New York NFC East division champion New York Giants. Yes,
Yikes.
it's possible division champions against the Cincinnati Bengals with obviously no Joe Burrow this week and for the foreseeable future. New York is almost favored by a touchdown. I think it's been a long time since I've seen New York favored by this much.
Yeah, they have Brendan Allen starting right, Cincinnati.
Correct.
So and they're saying who was Brendan Allen on last year? I forget who it was. It was when someone went down. Brendan Allen came in. And I think it was I can't remember, but they're saying the receivers were still able to eat. So if you're hesitant about like T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd, don't be because I think they're still gonna get like good yards and everything and a lot of touches. But I think the Giants will actually win this one. I think the Giants win over Cincinnati since no Joe Burrow.
Yes, I do think New York wins. Honestly, New York is one of the most underrated defenses in the league, to tell you the truth. James Bradbury should be an all-pro cornerback this
He
year.
should be. Yep.
Jabril Peppers, good Cleveland boy. Got drafted by the Browns back in the day. Playing some pretty good football these last couple of weeks. So it should be an interesting matchup to see a very good receiving core, I would say, in Cincinnati against a good secondary in New York. Probably the best game of the week, if not one of the best. Tennessee against Indianapolis battling out for the AFC South division lead. Indy coming off an upset, I would say, against the Green Bay Packers, and Tennessee pulling it out in overtime against Baltimore last week. Indy is favored by 3. Do you agree with the spread?
Well, Indy did beat Tennessee 2 weeks ago, and their defense played amazing because they've been playing great all year. Probably the most underrated team in this season so far, I think, is Indianapolis. They're not getting enough credit, but I do think Tennessee is going to come back and win this one because I think after the last game where they lost to Indianapolis and last week where it was kind of close, they want to just give the ball to Derrick Henry and get the balls in the hands of playmakers and make big plays and just have like a monster game offensively. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do against Indianapolis because their defense is so good. But I think Tennessee wins this one.
Yeah, I do think so too. If we're wrong, I think we might have to buy some Legos, bud.
Yeah, jeez.
To the
Thanks,
GOAT,
Blankenship.
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
So honestly, the more again talking more underrated, overrated players. AJ Brown is playing again. I'm saying it a lot
Yeah.
today. Serious football. He is averaging a touchdown a game, which I think is great for fantasy owners because really, if you get a touchdown, if you're a fantasy owner with any of your players, you're pretty much set for the guy. Like,
Exactly.
so if your guy is averaging a touchdown like AJ Brown is, he's a pretty, I would say, a wide receiver number 1.
No, I think so too. Yeah.
Carolina is going up against the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of question marks for Carolina going into today. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know if he's going to be playing or not. Christian McCaffrey is still questionable to play. Minnesota is favored by 3 coming off a Monday Night Football win against Chicago. You go with the favorites?
Yes, I'm sticking with the favorites because I think Minnesota is going to be able to stick with it. And Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook, having himself a career year still. Like every game, he's playing amazing. Obviously, Carolina, they're really good, and I think they'll be able to put up a fight. So this is a game where I think it's going to go down to like the last possession, but I think Minnesota will edge it out.
I know I said Monday Night Football. I meant to say the Cowboys. I'm sorry. But yeah, I thought that Dalvin Cook was supposed to eat, but I would say he's accustomed to getting 20 plus points now. So I think when you say, oh, he's going to go off, you're expecting 35, 40 points.
Exactly.
So we're used to getting Dalvin Cook to get 20, 25 points a night. So I think you're going to see more of the same again today. So yes, Minnesota does pull this one out. My Cleveland Browns are going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars in a barn burner.
Yikes.
Not.
Yikes.
So Cleveland is favored by a touchdown against the 1-9 Jaguars. I think there's not much to be said about this one.
No, I think they'll win by like 2 scores or something like that.
Oh, I love to hear it from a Steelers fan.
Well, it's Jacksonville. What are you going to do?
Right. Arizona Cardinals are going to be up against the New England Patriots this Sunday afternoon. Arizona
MVP?
favored by 1.5, and New England coming off that loss to Houston. So Houston, up and coming team, but do Arizona let New England grab their tail today?
I think so. Is Kyler Murray an MVP frontrunner right now?
He has to be top 5 at least.
I think so. I think he should be number 1. Honestly, just the way that he's been playing the game. Well, with Russell Wilson throwing how many interceptions and get turnovers this year. Obviously, his team's winning and he's throwing a bunch of touchdowns, but he's turning the ball over too. Kyler Murray can do it all. He has DeAndre Hopkins, the best receiver, arguably in the game. I don't think New England. Like you already heard Bill Belichick. He's not making excuses for the team. He knows that the team is bad, and Cam Newton can't really do much with the team right now. So I think Arizona will win this one pretty easily.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens down the stretch, that NFC West, because you really have 3 very, very good teams in the Cardinals, the LA Rams, and like you said, the Seattle Seahawks. Next, we got the Miami Dolphins going up against the 0-10 New York Jets. Tua Tagovailoa are not going to be playing today. We're hearing that it's Fitzmagic going to try to rekindle the faith for the Dolphins today. Honestly, I like the move because Fitzmagic, I think, brings more of a threat than Tua, sorry to say the least. He got more of an arm than Tua does. He doesn't do it with his feet, but I think it's easier to play for a savvy vet like Fitzpatrick than a unproven rookie in Tua.
Yeah, I think so too. And with Fitzpatrick playing, if you have Mike Gesicki on your fantasy team, start
Bust.
because no, not when Fitzpatrick is playing. When Tua's playing, he plays awful. But Gesicki and Fitzmagic have that quarterback tight end relationship, and they like to go to each other. They like making big plays. Start them, and it's the Jets. Miami should win this one pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. I would think so too. I don't think I have much to say about that.
Yeah.
But one game I'm sure you're going to be watching for all of the wrong reasons today. It's
Yeah.
the New Orleans Saints against the Denver Broncos. I think it's the last name is Hinton, who's going to be the quarterback for the Denver Broncos today. Practice squad wide receiver, did play quarterback at his alma mater at Wake Forest.
Wake
So
Forest.
he will be the starting quarterback today for the Broncos against Taysom Hill, quarterback, New Orleans Saints. So I will be tuning into this game just to see what is going to happen. But I love the NFL for not postponing this game
I know.
because of all the COVID protocols that were breached for the quarterback room in Denver. So I think they are having what's coming to them today.
Yeah.
So it should be a blowout win for the New Orleans Saints. It's just a matter of by how much.
Well, they didn't Denver want their coach, like one of their coaches, to play.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
why they wanted to push it till Tuesday. But they're like, no, you're playing tomorrow, and you're gonna stick with what you have. So yeah, I think New Orleans should win this one pretty easily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
California, we got the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Los Angeles Rams. LA coming off that win against Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. LA favored by 6 points against San Francisco. Do they stand much of a chance?
I don't think San Francisco does. The Rams are like one of those teams too, where it's like a dark horse, one of those teams that's really underrated and could make a deep playoff run. Obviously they're not playing like exceptional. They're not playing like some elite football, but they're playing good football. And I don't think San Francisco has any of the tools necessary to beat the LA Rams. So I have the Rams winning this.
Yeah,
one.
me too. Stream all of the wide receivers for the LA Rams, like you saw on Monday night. Cooper Kupp and Robert
Yeah.
Woods both had 10 receptions,
Crazy.
and you against a savvy defense in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And San Francisco, it's not the most intimidating defense in the world. The game of the week: the Kansas City Chiefs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kansas City is favored by 3.5 points. It's, I would say, the passing of the torch between the next goats: Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes.
I was just gonna say that. I think it's gonna be like one of those things where it's getting passed down. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes wins this one over Tom Brady. Mahomes, I think they've only lost one game, and that was to the Raiders. Tom Brady this year has 10 turnovers and or like 10 interceptions. Last year alone, he had 9, and the season's not even over this year yet. He's not playing the same football. He doesn't have the same system. He's still trying to work things out, and I don't think he'll be able to work it out against Kansas City.
I think he does. Tampa
Really?
Bay, I will say, beats Kansas City.
Wow.
Brady owns Mahomes in their career meetings, 2-0, and
2-0.
Kansas City's defense is not the same as the LA Rams defense, like we saw last week. So I think Brady will have a bit more time to work his
Tyrann
magic,
Mathieu?
and I do think Kansas City's have a bit more problems with Tampa Bay's defense. But you obviously didn't see that on Monday night. But I do think like they're going to be out there with a purpose today, and that they need the win because they're trying to chase down New Orleans in the NFC South and trying to get a home playoff game.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, we got the Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay favored by 9. They probably going to come out looking to punch you out in the first round, just like Jake Paul did to Nate Robinson. You think?
Yeah, I think so. After last week's Rodrigo sending them back off the field, I think. Wait, what?
The boys of Woodcrest coming clutch.
Cheers, boys.
Yes,
Oh my
sir.
God. It's like 10:55.
Game day, baby.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
Buddy, it's
do
a
you guys
Sunday.
think Green Bay's gonna win? Ask them. Do they think Green Bay's gonna win?
Green Bay fan
Obviously, what
over
do you
here.
mean?
Obviously.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
do
I
you
think
think's
so
gonna win?
too. I think Chicago's just not good enough. Not at all.
Yeah.
And
Money line, Green Bay.
money line Green Bay.
You heard it here first from the fans. Monday night, the Seattle Seahawks will go up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Mark was a bit stunned, but whatever. Seattle favored by 5.5 points against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly did not have the best game whatsoever against Cleveland. Carson Wentz looked terrible. Looked like a JUCO quarterback out there. I had a conversation with one of my boys yesterday or this week with Matt Stafford playing on Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Would you say the Eagles would have a winning record if Matt Stafford was the quarterback?
Yeah, I think so. Carson Wentz is garbage. Obviously, he's probably he's the biggest bust.
Overrated,
I would say overpaid, big bust. On a terrible organization. I don't even like the Eagles, anyways. But yeah, Matthew Stafford's underrated. He has like a big arm. He's so durable. He likes to stay in the play, take big hits. I think he's a quarterback that every team wants. But he sucks that he's on the Lions. But yeah, Philadelphia, not a great team at all. Not going to win any big games with Carson Wentz in the back there. They are riddled with injuries, so you have to kind of give them that. Like they have a lot of injuries, so that's why they're not playing. Maybe they'd be 8-8 by the end of the year if they had no injuries. But I think
If they were
Seattle
lucky,
wins.
I think.
Pardon?
If they would be lucky to make it to
They'd be
500.
lucky. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think this game is gonna be closer than a lot of people think because I do
Really?
think Philadelphia's defense is underrated. A lot of playmakers. They kept Cleveland to 2 touchdowns, but Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb ran rampant on them. Be interesting to see if Chris Carson plays today because if he does,
Hopefully.
watch out because I think he's gonna have a big day.
Mm-hmm.
So I do argue at the end of it, I do think Seattle is going to win. And the rare Tuesday night game will be the Baltimore Ravens against your Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a money line yet to be made on this game, but I think it's kind of anticipated who's going to win this one. Malcolm seems real thrilled. Are you on the same page with your boys Claypool, Juju, and Ebron?
Yes, 100% I am. Just give us the win. Like there's been so many occasions, not even like just with Pittsburgh, but other occasions where teams have had to deal with teams not listening to protocols and just getting COVID and then passing it to COVID. Like James Conner, he has COVID-19 now. He's a cancer survivor. He has it. Something really bad could happen to him. And I don't think a lot of these players know that. Maybe not a lot of people are educated enough to know. Like maybe like not even players, like personnel, coaches and stuff. You see New Orleans getting fined again for COVID protocol
Losing a
breaches
7th round pick.
again, and a draft pick taken away. I'm on the same page. It should have been like a gate. Like once you have how many players who have it on your team, Baltimore was just getting test positive over day after day after day, even up to today, and they're still going to play it on Tuesday. I say just cancel the game, give it to Pittsburgh, or I don't know, find a different way.
Make it
But,
week 18.
but yeah, I think that's what they didn't want to do that again because they already tried to do that with so many other games. But I think Pittsburgh will win this one. Obviously, road to the undefeated season, but we don't care about the undefeated record. We're
We
only
want
here
rings,
for
baby. We want
Lombardies.
the ring. Meh, meh,
We're
meh,
here for
meh.
Lombardies, says Ben
Yeah.
Roethlisberger. So Pittsburgh for this
COVID
one.
or not, I think Pittsburgh is going to win this game anyway.
Yeah,
But it will be interesting to see Robert Griffin III get back under
Yeah.
center. Rooting for him. Obviously,
Heisman.
Baltimore. He's on Baltimore now, so can't root for him. But obviously, he's had a very tough road in the NFL, so I want to see him succeed. And Des Bryant was just signed into the 53-man roster, so we're gonna see
Let's
a
go.
Des Bryant Dallas Cowboys matchup in the near future.
Wow,
So
that's
I'm
nice.
pumped for that. I'm pumped for week 12. I'm pumped the boys brought drinks. It's going to be a day. Can't wait. Week 12. Be there, baby, because it's going to be awesome. From Pure Finesse, it's Jay Merch.
And Money Malcolm.